Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel and this is Stitched Up. So by the time you're watching this, I will be sunning myself on a beach in Portugal, hopefully, if the sun shines. And, you know, it got me thinking about some new sewing patterns because I have made quite a lot for my holiday, which you'll find out about after my holiday when I'm back with you and I can show you what I made. But I'm always on the lookout for something a bit different, new patterns, pattern designers that I've never heard of before. And I have found 5 new dress patterns that probably some of them you will have never seen. And I'm really excited by them. So I thought I would share them with you today in case you're interested in trying one of these out for yourself over the summer to make yourself a gorgeous summer dress. Now, full disclaimer, I haven't made any of these dresses, so I can't tell you whether they are drafted really well or, you know, what the instructions are like or anything like that. These are simply 5 summer dress patterns that I have seen that I think are absolutely gorgeous and I would love to have a go at. So yeah, that's just, you know, I thought it would be nice to share it with you because I'm always on the lookout for new sewing patterns, as I'm sure some of you guys are as well. The other thing I just want to mention is that some of these patterns are not size inclusive. Now, I know that might disappoint some of you and some of you may be really frustrated or a little bit disappointed that I'm including those sewing patterns in this little vlog, but you know, unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that. I'm certainly not going to discount a sewing pattern if I myself can fit into it. And as much as I want to share size inclusive patterns with you, we all know that there are some out there that just aren't. And I thought you might like to see them anyway, for those of you that, you know, they do work for. And out of the 5, 2 are size inclusive and 1 has got a fairly good size range. 2 of them are a little bit limited. So we've got a little bit of something for everyone here. Excuse Piper in the background. He's doing his usual. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. So the first pattern that I want to share with you today is by a designer called Les Lubis de Cadia. Now, if you are French or speak French, please ignore my pronunciation because I'm sure I've got that wrong. And also excuse me for looking down at my notes. I have made some notes so that I can tell you everything I've read about these patterns in case you want to go check them out for yourself. But the pattern that I have chosen that I absolutely love on this site, they do a lot of different patterns. They're a French company, I believe, and the one that I really want to share with you today that I love the look of is called the Pavonia Top Dress. So I'm just going to talk about the dress because that's what I'm talking about today. But this pattern is a beautiful, beautiful dress, lovely summer dress with double straps that go into this gorgeous back feature. I'm going to put some images in so that you can have a look. Now it comes in sizes 34 to 56. It comes in both English and French translations, so that's great for those of us that don't speak a lot of French. And the 34 to 56 size range equates to a bust of 31 to 52 inches. So this is one of the inclusive patterns, size inclusive patterns, that's got a really wide size range, which I think is absolutely amazing. It comes in paper and PDF formats. The paper version is €17, the PDF is €11. And the formats it comes in are A4, US letter and AO if you wanted to get the PDF version. It takes between 3 and 3.4 meters if you go for the dress version, which is obviously the version I'm discussing with you today. And you can use it for a wide range of woven fabrics. So you can choose a fluid drapey fabric like viscose or tencel, or you can go for a more structured fabric like cotton or linen, which is brilliant, isn't it? But it doesn't recommend that you use jerseys or anything with stretch for this pattern. So yeah, I absolutely love it. I think it's gorgeous. There's various versions of this and you'll see it from the images that I'm going to insert for you that you can, you know, you can use like a little bit of a sort of cowl neck version if you're doing it in a drapey fabric, and you've got different back options for it as well. And I just think it's gorgeous for a summer holiday. I really, really like the look of this dress. I haven't made any of their patterns before, but I am aware of this designer. I'd be really interested to know if any of you guys have heard of them, or if you've made any of their other patterns. Some of the designs that they have on their website look absolutely beautiful. Now, skill level, it recommends that you just need to be an advanced beginner to tackle something like this. And looking at it at first glance, I would probably go with that. I think one of the most difficult things with this is probably going to be getting that back feature to sit right. So I would recommend, if you are a beginner and you want to tackle something like this, that you would try it in a more structured fabric like a cotton or a linen, rather than the drapey fabrics, because you're already working with a more of a tricky fabric, and getting that back feature to sort of sit and not just hang and fall off you, I think would be a little bit more tricky in a more fluid fabric. But I really like the look of this. I think it's gorgeous, and it's definitely going to be on my make list. So moving on to number 2, we are going for the Lori PR, and I hope I've said her name right, Dolce Dress. Now, this is another pattern that has really taken my eye, and why this has come to my attention is because I have made the Hallen dress by Paradise Patterns for my holiday, and this has a very similar vibe but with a few little different details, and I really love the version that she's wearing on the website when you first open up the designer's website. I think this is great for a really graphic print, you know, those big prints that sometimes you want to find a pattern that isn't going to break the print up and just show off a really big bold print in its entirety. I think this would be absolutely great for. But this dress is, she calls it an effortless everyday dress with an A-line silhouette. It features a straight high neckline at the front with a centre pleat and a surprisingly low scooped back to give that aha moment. It has spaghetti straps to give the dress that delicate and chic slip dress look. It offers 3 views. View A is a midi-length dress which comes with inseam pockets. View B is a mini dress which also comes with pockets, and view C is a top with a higher back if you are looking for more coverage. And I'm not sure whether you would be able to do a higher back with the dress. If you can do it with the top, then I'm sure you could probably adapt the dress slightly as well. But it's absolutely beautiful. I think this dress is gorgeous, and what I love about it is, you know, if you're going somewhere really hot and you just want to wear something that is really loose and flowy so that, you know, you're not getting all hot and sticky, and it can just help you feel cool, I think this dress would be perfect for that. So she also says that this dress is pregnancy friendly as well, and you could layer it up for cooler days, which is awesome. The recommendations of fabrics for this pattern are lightweight woven fabrics, and I would agree that you want something loose and floaty. It is aimed at confident beginners, and it comes in A4 letter and A0 formats as well. And the size range for this pattern is 00 to 58, which is a 30-inch bust to a 63-inch bust. So you've got a really good size range there as well. So again, very inclusive. And the recommendations of fabric length are 1.8 to 2.6 meters. So that's obviously for the top version. No, that is for the midi dress to the maxi dress. I haven't included the fabric recommendation amount for the top in this vlog. So yeah, it's another pattern that I would really like to make. I just think it's beautiful. I love that pleat detail at the front, and yeah, I think for a really big graphic print, this would be perfect to show it off. So that's number 2. Moving on to number 3 is Tint of Mint patterns. Now, I can't remember where I found this pattern designer, but she came on my radar a couple of weeks ago actually, and she's got a number of patterns on her website that look really interesting. And the one that's really struck me is the Violette Maxi Dress PDF pattern. Oh, just going back to Laurie PR, I forgot to mention that pattern is €12 for the PDF version. So getting back onto the Violette. Gosh, you can tell I've not practiced this, can't you? This pattern is £7.90 for the PDF version. Now, it only comes in, it comes in A4, AO and US letter formats as well. She also has a YouTube tutorial for this pattern, as she does for all of her patterns as well, which is just amazing. So any of those tricky steps that you might come across, I'm sure you would be able to, have a look at her YouTube tutorial and it would explain it better for you. She doesn't say what sort of level of sewing skill you need to attempt this pattern. That's the only thing I would say. I haven't looked at the YouTube tutorial for this pattern, but I have looked at it for one of her other patterns, and it's really straightforward. It's in English, and yeah, it was very clear, so I'm sure it would be for this pattern as well. But I really like this. It's a beautiful summer dress, again with tie straps. It's got a ruched sort of neckline at the front, and it's empire line with elasticated waist and back, and it's got this gorgeous little ruffle at the bottom, which actually she says you can use it as, you can gather it, you can pleat it, you can do what you like with the ruffle. To be honest, you've got lots of options with that. So this comes in UK sizes 4 to 24, so a little bit more restricted than the other two patterns that we've talked about, but that equates to a 32.7 to a 44.1 inch bust as well, and it takes about 2.25 meters of fabric. The other thing as well is you get a free scrunchie pattern with this fabric, so if you want to make a matching scrunchie with your dress, you've got a little free pattern there as well. I haven't made any of her dresses before either, so I can't comment on how good the instructions are or how well this dress is drafted. But again, I just think this is a beautiful summer dress that looks very easy to wear. Something that you can dress up or dress down for day wear, or you can wear it on an evening, on those lovely warm summer nights when you're going out for cocktails or a little stroll along a promenade. I think it would be just really lovely for this. So the other thing that it doesn't mention on her website, she doesn't give you any fabric recommendations for this pattern. I would suggest that you would want to, you could use lightweight cotton fabrics. You could probably get away with a linen viscose as well. And obviously your lighter weight flowy fabrics, double gauzes, viscoses, rayons, tencels, those types of fabrics. You want to use a woven fabric. It is a pattern recommended for woven fabrics and not anything with stretching, but any of those fabric choices I think would work really well. And yeah, I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I'd really love to have a go at it. I think it's a fairly straightforward sew. Looking at the ruching at the front, that is done simply with attaching elastic. So it's not like a channel that you have to insert elastic through. I think you're literally putting elastic on and then sort of pulling it as you sew, so that it gives you that gathered effect. And yeah, I think it would be fairly straightforward. I would say a confident beginner with a few things under your belt would be able to successfully attempt this, especially if you used something a bit more stable with regards to your fabric choice, like a cotton voile or a cotton lawn, anything like that. I think you would probably find this fairly straightforward to sew. I think there's very little fitting involved as well. Obviously, it has that sort of sweetheart bodice, neckline, front, whatever, bustier type front. I don't actually know what you call this front bodice piece, to be fair, but you're probably looking at it thinking, oh, that might take a bit of fitting. But I think the difference is because you've got an empire line that's elasticated. Well, the front actually is gathered in, but you've got elastic at the back and you've got tie straps. I think it gives you lots of areas where it's easily adjustable. So I think if you're wanting to move into something that's going to help you with learning a little bit more fitting towards your own body, then this might be a good place to start, and you'll come out with a really nice summer dress. So that is number 3. So this is where we move into the 2 patterns that I've seen that aren't size inclusive. And again, 100 apologies for that, but I really love these patterns, and I did want to share them with you anyway, in case you were interested. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is the Robe Camellia by La Camelia Rose. You can also find this on the Wisso website as well. I will leave a link to everything that I'm talking about in this video down below in the description box, so you can go and check them out. The Wisso website is very much like it feels like a website a bit like the Fold line in the UK, but obviously I think it's French. I don't know. And there's lots of patterns on there from lots of different designers, so this is actually on there as well. But so you can access it on that website or by the La Camelia Rose website. Again, this is a French pattern. This pattern only comes in French language as well, so you would, if you didn't speak very good French, you would have to use Google Translate or some other kind of translate app to be able to understand the instructions. I haven't made any of their patterns. I don't know what their instructions are like, you know, if there's lots of graphics in their instructions so that you can at least see what the steps are. I don't know, to be honest. That's not what I'm discussing at this point. But this particular pattern, if you've been watching the Great British Sewing Bee over the last few weeks, you'll know that in the first episode, the contestants made patterns with cutouts, and this pattern has got, I wouldn't say it's a cutout as such, but you've got like a peephole design at the back. It's absolutely stunning. I really, really love it. It costs €11 for the PDF, and I think it only comes in a PDF version. There's no paper pattern. It is aimed at, it actually says it's suitable for complete beginners. So yeah, I mean, I think probably because there's very little fitting involved. Okay, I don't know if a complete beginner as your first pattern, whether this would be suitable. I will let you guys be the judge of that. I don't know if I would have attempted it as a complete beginner, but that's what they're saying. It takes 2.2 to 3.3 meters of fabric, depending on the length you make, because you can make the mini version or the maxi version. I love the maxi version. I just think it's so dramatic, but it's essentially, as you can see from the pictures, you've got this beautiful sort of tie back detail, which just looks so lovely. And I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's so feminine. And yeah, you can also have like straight straps, or you can have straps with a little frill over the shoulders, which I just think is absolutely beautiful. I really, really like this dress. It's a pleated dress with a back knot, and yeah, it's just stunning. It's designed again for woven fabrics, and it actually recommends using cotton fabrics, so it doesn't recommend using something really lightweight. It only comes, I mentioned that it only comes in PDF format, and it only actually comes in A4 print at home format as well. So you don't get an AO copy, and you don't get a US letter copy either. So that's something to bear in mind. The size range is a size 34 to 48 there. That's European size, and it doesn't actually tell you on the website what the actual body measurements are either. So, you know, you're going to have to look at that, I guess. But if you know that you're generally within that size range from a European size perspective, then yeah, I think this dress is probably a contender that you might want to look at. I just think it's stunning. I really like it. But yeah, there's a few things there. And I think that's one thing that I have found with many French and some other European pattern designers, that not only are they not fully size inclusive, but they don't always offer all formats of PDF download, you know, if you wanted to send to copy shop, things like that. And some of the information that you get before you actually purchase the pattern is a little bit lacking at times. So, you know, those are things that you need to bear in mind. But if you are more of an advanced sewer, and this is where I think I would dispute the fact that this is a beginner pattern. It might be a beginner pattern to sew, I don't know. But I think the fact that they don't give you a lot of detail, some of the things that I've just mentioned, for instance, is where, as a beginner, you might be caught out, you know, looking at sizing and all that kind of thing. So, yeah, I'll leave that one with you anyway. But as I say, they do have some beautiful patterns on their website, which are worth looking at if you're interested. And then finally, I think is probably my favourite. And this is, again, on the Wisso website, and it's the by Wisso Silky Dress, the woman sewing pattern Silky Dress. That's the name of it. Okay, this pattern is €13.50, and it comes in PDF only, and the only options you get with this one are AO and A4, so you don't get US letter as an option either. This comes in sizes 34 to 42, which they are equating to a UK 6 as an extra small, to a UK 14, which is, get this, an extra large. Yes. Okay. This is aimed at intermediate level sewers, and again, it only comes with French instructions, so there isn't an English instruction format for you. But you know, looking at the design, I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's beautiful. Again, you've got these cutout details at the side. You can have a long sleeved version or a sort of halter neck version. And again, it's just absolutely beautiful. It's got this gorgeous tie detail at the back with this little sort of twist knot feature at the front. And I absolutely love it. I think it's beautiful. This pattern recommends that you use drapey fabric. So again, like we were talking about with a couple of the other patterns, these are things such as viscoses, tencels. I certainly wouldn't want anything structured for this dress, because you, especially for the, you know, the full length version, you're going to want that flowiness to work with this. And for the knot version at the front, you're going to need that basically for this dress to look how it's meant to. It takes about 3 meters of fabric as well, and yeah, I just think it's beautiful. Again, as a summer dress, something a little bit special. You know you can make this up in a really special high quality viscose fabric, and it would just look sensational, wouldn't it? I just think it's absolutely stunning. But again, it's got a very narrow size range, has this dress. However, what I would say is, you know, that there is a little bit of movement with how it fastens around the bust area, and you know, I can't tell you what the bust measurements are because it doesn't give you them, so that's the other thing. So take of that as you will. But again, I do find that some of these patterns, they look absolutely amazing, but they're sometimes lacking in detail about what they tell you on the website, and sometimes that can make you think, is there going to be lacking detail in the instructions as well? I don't know. We're just discussing gorgeous patterns, gorgeous dress patterns today. So those are the 5 dresses that I've seen that I really, really like, and I'm really keen to potentially have a go at a couple of them. Let me know what you think down below, and let me know if you found any interesting patterns that are a little bit unusual, have some different features, and something a little bit different that we might not have heard of before. I'd be really keen to know, because I'm always on the lookout for something new and exciting. So I hope you've enjoyed having a little look at what I found, and let me know if, you know, if you've made any of these patterns. That's the other thing. Or if you've made any patterns by any of these designers as well, and what you found. That would be really good to share down in the comments box below. So that's it from me today. I hope I will be back with you really soon when I get back from Portugal to tell you all about my holiday and show you my holiday makes. So I will see you then. Take care. Bye.